You know what gets old? All those comments calling me a fish and a bad poker player. So guess what? I'm putting those big talkers to the test. 7 lucky subscribers just scored an all expenses paid trip to Houston, Texas for a crazy showdown right here on Champions Club livestream. They're going head to head with my editor Lucas and I in a competitive game of 5-5-10. Remember that Christmas bankroll challenge I did a couple months ago? Well, I took my winnings and gave each winner their own buy-in of $725 for the live stream. Everyone is super excited to get started, and we settle into our seats. Jake from Lucky Guard, who you probably remember from previous vlogs, has hooked everyone up with custom Champions Club card protectors. This dude seriously rocks. And of course, props to Champions Club for making this wild, one-of-a-kind poker experience possible. Like I mentioned before, each player starts out with $725 in their stack, as provided by myself, and we will track how each player does along with myself as the night goes on. Jumping right into things, CJ takes down a nice one here with pocket queens, better than pocket nines, and that brings us into the next hand. Colby starts the night hot with getting 2 bluffs through to be the biggest winner at the table so far. Definitely the surprise of the night. Shout out to Colby.
Any last words on Wolfgang in person versus on the videos?
He plays relatively like the videos, but tonight he played a little bit scared against me.
Robin, aka BSG, tries his luck with a bluff as well, taking down Kobe in this one, and let's just say people are looking very comfortable at the table so far. That brings us into our first hand of the night. I look down at pocket kings from the big blind.
Uh-oh. You see it on his hat. He sees it in the hole. Pocket kings and the big blind for our man Wolfgang.
And come in for what looks like a squeeze. I bump it up to $200, and the graphics have it as a 4-bet. Yes, I'm playing a $725 stack here, so a 4-bet to $200 is already committing over 25% of my chips. CJ's a customer. He puts in the call. Don't tell Sandro that he's going to rip it all in here for $295 with the suited ace-3 of clubs. That's going to bring in CJ as well with the ducks. And just like that, in hand number 16, we have a 3-way pot brewing here, $900 in the middle, and the flop is not good for us. Ace-7 jack with 2 hearts. In a dry side pot here with CJ, the action goes check, check, bringing in the 9 of spades on the turn. I decide to rip my effective $400 into the middle, and that's going to get CJ to fold. The cards are on their backs. Lucas is filming from the corner. I'm filming vertically for shorts and reels. Let's just say the river card was something out of a Hollywood movie.
One of the 2 remaining kings. They both are live in the deck.
Oh, that is max pain.
Oh my
That's
wow.
gross. Nasty.
That's gross.
Wolfgang invites people to rig games. It's crazy.
Here at Champions Club in Houston, they make amazing Moscow mules, and I put my own twist on it by splashing some mango puree in there as well. I order a few for the table, and let's check in on the earnings so far. It's pretty competitive. Sandro unfortunately did not rebuy, and that brings us into hand number 10. I'm in the $10 straddle with pocket 10s. Go figure. I have around $1,000 in my stack. We see a raise from Andrew out of the big blind with 9-4 offsuit. There was a method to the madness. He was invited for a reason, and he's showing us all here. 9-4 offsuit pops it up. I decided to 3-bet him to $105. Kind of a weird sizing, but yeah, we're playing funky here on the stream. Moscow Mule in hand, 3-bet to 105. We're going to get CJ to put in the call here with Jack 10 off. Andrew's out of the way. He was just trying to build the pot. Well, it worked, buddy, and the flop of Ace-King-7 Rainbow is pretty good for my range, so I decided to go for a down bet, C-bet on this flop. CJ doesn't like all those terms, but he does like his hand. He puts in the call, giving him a pair on the turn, which comes the jack of clubs. However, I'm going to have Ace-King, Ace-Jack, pocket kings, pocket jacks, all that good stuff, so I decide to continue betting, turning my pocket 10s into a bluff. You can see it puts CJ in a weird spot, and he ultimately folds his cards. I show the 10 of clubs, taking down hand number 33. Remember I said Colby was a legend in the making? Well, check this one out here. 3-4 offsuit from the +3 position against Andrew's pocket kings, the Cowboys in Houston. And yeah, he's going to win a big all-in here. Look at Andrew's face. He's like, why did I even accept this invitation to come play on the Wolfmas live stream? Well, Colby, gotta be nice to our guests here. Hand number 37, definitely an action-packed one. And then it's like the producers got the vibe. They wanted to give us action, and Murph is gonna deliver here in hand number 39. Pocket Kings versus Robin's Ace King, $1,000 pot. And that brings us into the next one here. Jake and Colby are going to go after it. Colby rips his stack into a dry side pot as a bluff. Who knows, but he gets Jake to fold the best hand.
Kings fold.
Wow. Got the bluff through on the dry side pot.
And then he needles Jake on his comments on Texas Poker. You guys got to hear it for yourself.
I just wanted to get a big bluff
CJ,
through. I didn't care.
gotta think.
And number 45 is where old Wolfgang here gets back into the mix. I'm on the button with ace-9 offsuit, and we're going to go like 7 ways to a flop here, which gives me top, as Jamie Gold would say, 9-3-7 with 2 clubs. We're going to hide some of the hands here. Colby decides to bet out into the field. That's usually a strong play when there's a multi-way action. I'm going to put in the call here with top. If I had the ace of clubs, could consider raising, but instead I just toss in the $55. That's going to bring in Robin as well, and the turn comes the 3 of spades pairing the board. Actually not a bad card because now I have 2 pair. I'm still beating hands like king 9, 9, 10, 9, 8. And the thing I'm worried about is the front door club draw, and that has bricked off. So when the action checks over to me, I'm going to take up the betting lead and fire out for 125. Is anyone going to fold here? No, they flew out for a reason, both putting in the call, and the river comes the 6 of hearts. Robin checks it in flow. I'm expecting Colby to do the same, but he didn't get the memo. He now leads into me for 225, kind of a strange line, betting flop, checking turn, and then leading into me on the river. Still, I don't think I can fold. There's busted clubs, maybe some busted straight draws as well, like 10 jack. So I decide to put in the call, and Robin snap jams his stack all in, and Colby calls. So for me, that's pretty much the white flag being waved. I fold my cards, and let's see these hands. Robin has 10-8 of clubs. Busted club draw turns into the open-ended straight draw that gets there. But look at that. Colby has pocket 3s for quads. Quads on the Wolfmas live stream. I was in rough shape that entire time. Another earnings check here. We can see Colby is running away with it. Robin in seat 3, Andrew in seat 1, and Sandro, who is no longer with us, all throwing the party. In hand number 46, there's some more bloodshed here. Jake bluffs CJ off of an overpair. Pretty gnarly stuff there. King Queen offsuit getting the job done. An $1,100 pot. Not too shabby there from Jake. He came to play. And then we see Colby and his crazy antics at it once again. Andrew and him chopping all in 10-9 off versus ace deuce of clubs in hand number 48. This one is pretty special as well. It's like this is out of a Hollywood movie here. Scripted this up. Andrew and Colby, 2 action players. They're going to chop it up with 2 speculative hands. All right, we have to get active once again in hand number 49. King 5 of diamonds is the hand I decide to do it with. And out of the $20 straddle, I decide to call an $120 raise from Jake with pocket 8s. We see CJ, Andrew, and myself are all going to battle here on a 3-4-3 board with 2 diamonds. Things are pretty decent so far. Andrew leads out with his jack 10 offs. It's a pretty respectable play. He has a lot of backdoor draws here, like nothing. Like, I don't know why he's betting this, but I have king 5 of diamonds, so I decided to put in the call. Jake has pocket 8s and immediately raises it up to $400 with his overpair. It's like he smells that I'm weak here, decides to pop it up. Well, Jake, you're gonna have to play for stacks. I decided to jam my $710 stack into the middle, and Jake puts in the rest of the call. We decide to run it 2 times. I'm always going to ask my Wolfmas winners what they want to do. I think Jake had more than one bullet, but still, got to be respectful here in case he only had one. I definitely want to give him a chance to win one of the boards. The turn is not good for me, but the river comes through with the ace of diamonds, giving me the best hand.
Diamonds do come through on the first run out for Wolfgang.
On the second board, we drill it right away with the 6 of diamonds on the turn. But look at that, the board gives Jake a boat with the 3 of clubs, the backdoor boat.
For Jay one time, and he gets it on the river.
Is going to chop that $2,000 pot up. And of course, I got to give Jake some love for that one. A pretty sick way to chop that pot with old Wolfgang here. On live streams, it's pretty common for people to needle the bottom VPIP. I didn't expect it to be my own editor and content producer, Lucas, aka the GOAT. So Lucas has heard enough. He's going to rip a 4-bet all-in with Queen 8 of spades, normally a pretty strong play.
Luke putting in a 4-bet to 310 here, which will get rid of Andrew. And BSG can't believe his luck.
And usually when the lowest VPIP does it, you kind of all fold. Well, that kind of goes out the window when Robin picks up pocket aces. And poor Lucas here has to fold his Queen 8 of spades. What a premium hand, but hand 53, just showing that sometimes when you needle people at the table, they do fun stuff like this and then run into the best of it. All right, hand number 72 is where I get active once again. We're playing the small blind game now. What does that mean? Well, look at all those green chips on the button. Basically what that means is we all toss in $5 to start the small blind game, and only the person in the small blind can win what's on the button. As the button moves around the table, $5 is added every hand from the player on the button. And I look down at Jack 8 offsuit now from the small blind. Of course, I have to raise it up when everybody folds to me. Is anyone going to defend from the blinds? Yes, we are going to get Jake in there like swimwear. Ace Queen offsuit puts in the call. We see a great flop with King 5-4 rainbow. Have to go for a c-bet. I'll have all the kings. Jake has ace high, and he's not going to let me take it down that easy. Puts in the call, and the 7 of hearts on the turn is a perfect card for me to keep barreling on. I pick up a gutter to the straight. Any 6 would give me the best hand. I could also bet and tell the story that I have the best hand right away. There's 400 in the middle, and I overbet it for $475, putting his ace high to the test. He picks up his cards and mucks them, which is great news for me. Not for the table, though, because I'm taking down that small blind game with Jack 8 off.
No way.
I raise up the hijack with Queen Jack off over a $20 straddle and a cold call from Colby. We're going to see Murph here with a random hand. He's going to come in for a raise. In fact, it's an all-in for $485. Colby folds his hand. And action's back over to me with Queen Jack offsuit. I'm the last player in the hand. I'm going to give Murph some action here with not so great of a hand for myself. I put in the call. Did I tell you guys we're playing the 7 deuce game as well for $25 a pop? Well, it comes into play here. Murph turns his cards on his back and shows 7 deuce off, and suddenly Queen Jack offsuit isn't looking like such a bad hand. I have a 69% chance to win this one here, and we're going to run it one time with the 7 deuce. The board runs out clean for me. I flop 2 pair and river a better one. And yeah, I saved the table $25 ahead. And if you think Murph from Cleveland is crazy for doing that, just believe that everyone at the table here definitely capable of firing it all in. Yeah, I did it as well in this one, but I look down at ace 5 of diamonds now from the +3 position. A raise to $35 seems in order, but I forgot that Jake from Chicago came to play from the cutoff. 3 bets me to $100. Lucas still can't find a good spot to get active with, but ace 5 of diamonds could be a 4-bet. In fact, I think it probably is, but since it's a stream, we decided to do things interesting here on the 12 days of Wolfmas. I tempt Jake with a proposition. We both turn over 1 card at random. He selects my 5 of diamonds, and I select his king of clubs. So for the rest of the hand, those 2 cards are exposed, and on a king 4 deuce board, I now know he has top pair. I decide to check call a $5 bet. He's playing pretty funny here, but funny for you, Jake, is the turn comes the 3 of spades, giving me a gutter ball straight, and that 5 of diamonds shows Jake I have an open-ended straight draw. I now bet out for $75, telling the story that I have a straight like 5-6 or ace 5, but it seems like Jake thinks that I have pocket 5s because he raises me to $275. I debate shoving it all in here, but it seems like we're a little bit too deep. Jake started the hand with $1,200, so instead I just put in the call, and the 10 of clubs on the river seems like a pretty safe card for me to fire out for $750, near the size of the pot. I just want to put Jake to the test. I know he has a king, and he's going to have to put me on exactly ace-5 or 5-6 in order to fold his king. Usually when someone is showing a very good card, they have this table pressure to feel like they have to call. That definitely happens here. Jake puts in the call. I turn over the wheel, and he shows king queen. A disgusting hand there, definitely induced by turning over a card pre-flop, but a $2,300 pot nonetheless. It's a pretty big one here at Champions Club. Colby is back to his old tricks with 7-deuce offsuit once again. Who's his victim this time? My buddy Marcelo from Agua Caliente down in Palm Springs. Yes, I flew him out as a friend, an alternate. You just don't know if people are going to rebuy or not, so I figured why not fly out my friend Marcelo. He was the second alternate and already has made his way to the table, replacing Andrew, Crazy Andrew from Houston in seat 1. And yeah, I should call Colby Crazy Colby now because he's going to bluff Marsh off pocket jacks with 7-deuce offsuit. The bounty definitely is inducing action here. Poor Marsh couldn't find a call on the king high board. All right, 7-6 of heart here from the straddle. Lucas finally raises king 4 of clubs from the cutoff to $60. Myself and Jake both put in the call. 3 ways to a flop we go, which comes queen 8-5 with 2 clubs. I have an open-ended straight draw and 25% equity in this hand. Jake has a flush draw and Lucas has a better one with a king high flush draw. So he bets out for $100. I put in the call. Is Jake going to call? Absolutely. He's in there as well. And the turn comes the ace of spades. The action checks through on the turn. I think if Lucas was to fire, I wouldn't go anywhere. I definitely wouldn't raise, but interested to see what would have happened if Lucas bets, I call, and Jake could have sprung the trap there. Nevertheless, the river card comes a board pairing queen of spades. And after the action on the turn, I'm not exactly sure how Lucas plays his hands here, but I don't think he's going to be too nutted because there is that front door club draw, so I don't really think he's checking back ace, king, ace, queen. Therefore, I'm going to represent a queen or an ace in my hand and lead out into the 2 players. It's a pretty strong move. Immediately gets Jake to fold with his jack high, and Lucas is thinking about it though with the king high. He's seen a few vlogs and shorts, well maybe a few thousand by now. He thinks something's up, he has a read on me, but ultimately king high is just not good enough to call. Luckily for me, he had just king high, and my 7 high is going to take it down, but it seems like if he had a hand like 8-9 or 8-7, he might have looked me up. All right, we pick up a premium here from the small blind. Let's not forget that game is still on where I can win an additional like $75. I don't need any more incentive though. Ace-king offsuit is a great hand, and I 3-bet a raise from Jake all the way up to $125. I want to go large here, one, because Mario has also found himself in the hand with that $20 call, but also because I have a great hand, I'm out of position, and the small blind game is in effect, so everyone is more likely to call. You don't have to give Jake any more reason to put in the call. He has ace-10 of diamonds, but he's 4-betting me to $250, getting Mario to fold pocket 9s. Interesting play there from Jake. He gets Mario to fold. I could probably rip it all in, but instead I just put in the call, and we're off to a flop, which comes ace-6 for rainbow. Pretty great flop for me. I have top pair, top kicker. Jake's in a cooler situation with ace-10. He has a backdoor straight draw for a chop. He also has a backdoor nut flush draw, which would scoop him the pot. He fires out for $200. I put in the call, no sense in raising, and the turn comes the 8 of spades. A little bit more of the same here, but the action goes check, check, and the river pairs the board on the 6 of hearts. With 925 in the middle, I could either shove, I could bet really small if I think he has a hand like jacks or 10s. I didn't put him on an ace when he checked back on the turn. Got to give him a lot of credit for pot controlling there. And so I decided to go small. I could have probably got the whole stack because he snap calls me with his 2 pair. And we're taking down hand number 82, which is $1,500. Jake's getting active once again in hand 87. Him and Colby are going to play a $2,700 pot here at 5-5, ace-8 for top pair, and Colby with king-8 of hearts for top pair and the flush draw. They're going to chop up a $2,700 pot, so no bloodshed there. Hand number 90 is unfortunate for Murph because he runs into my editor's pocket aces versus his ladies. They're not good for him tonight, and that's going to eliminate Murph Murph. He is our second casualty of the night. First it was Sandro, now it's Murph. They flew all the way down here just to take the bad end of the beat. But if I'm ever back out in Cleveland, you better believe I'm hitting up my boy Murph. He is a fun time. With some newfound confidence, Lucas finds himself in a good bluff situation and gets Jake to fold 2 pair. Not exactly sure why Jake's folding there, but he takes a sip of his Rona as he has just lost hand number 95. Lucas is back at it with the bluff once again, but this time he runs into the bluff master Colby, aka the table captain from Dallas, and Colby bluffs Lucas off of a bluff. Yes, let me say that one more time. Lucas was bluffing, Colby outbluffed him. I'm in the straddle and defend it here with 5-4 offsuit versus an open from Lucas. We see a board which comes 10-9-4, and I decide to put in the call with bottom pair. The turn gives me trips, the 4 of clubs, bang, and I lead out for $75. Good card to do so because I'm going to have more of the 4s than Lucas in the cutoff. I think he only has ace-4 suited and king-4 suited, so a pretty big green light for me to go for a lead, and Lucas calls, bringing in a 10. Not the best card because he's going to have ace-10 and king-10. I'll probably be wanting to 3-bet those at a high frequency. Still, I have a boat, pretty good hand. I can get called by some ace and king highs that don't believe me. I've been bluffing a lot tonight, but this hand is not one of them. I bet 40, Lucas snap calls me, and hand number 100 is getting shipped over my way. Now remember I said everyone's getting active with the 7-deuce offsuit. Yes, there's a $25 bounty, and you know your boy Wolfgang loves 7-deuce offsuit. I make so many shorts about it. I just put my stack in. Unfortunately, the stream went down for about 45 minutes, and of course, 7-deuce offsuit came into play during those 45 minutes. I'll just show the short here because the stream went down, but yeah, I ripped my entire stack in. I was also in the small blind, so I had an additional like 50 or 60 bucks to go after. Lucas puts in the call for $950, a pretty big stack here at 5-5. I outflop him on 8-7-6, but the turn is a brick. River card gets him paid. He doubles up through me, and I can't get it done. The table, of course, loves it. They save $25. That's going to bring us into the final earnings check. I have $5,000 in my stack. Colby does as well. A few other people in the thousands, and then we have the rest of the field. You can see that Robin, Colby, Jake, CJ, Murph all came to play over 30%. Myself, Lucas, Marsh, Oz, and Mario all bringing up the rear. For the final profit loss, you see Colby is the star of the show, $4,700. Myself, $2,800 up. Lucas and Mario up $200 each. That's going to conclude this special subscriber live stream, and what a wild one it was. We pulled away with a nice profit of $28.20. You can see from our final standings here, Colby and I were the big winners on the night, followed by my editor Lucas and Mario with some small win themselves. I guess it isn't so easy after all, taking on old Wolfgang at his own game. If you still feel like you could do better, don't worry, you might just still get your chance. Stay tuned for the next time I do a live stream giveaway in the next few months, because trust me, this was way too fun to not do again. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed, please drop a subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, click on the ones you see now on the screen. Good luck on the felt, you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Shout out Joe.
What's up? Do you want my feedback too?
Yeah, let's do it.
Man, when he turns that camera on, he's got Group 1 or better.